Welcome to Cocktail Hour. I'm Andy.
And I'm the Rev.
Welcome to episode 24, our 1-year anniversary Cocktail Hour show.
Yay. Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary. Can you believe it's been a year?
In some ways, yeah. I still remember sitting at my dining room table doing the first one.
No kidding.
Yep.
Wow.
And blasted out of my mind by the time we were done.
Really?
Remember, it was just supposed to... We were only going to be doing a test run. Do you remember that?
No. I must have drank too much.
Yeah. It's like, oh, no, well, let's just test this out and see how it goes. And then we just went with it. And it was a good, 20, 25 minutes? And that was it.
Yeah, it was very short.
Yeah.
I think I know that I was nervous as hell. I
was drunk, so, you know.
And kind of like a reprise? Because
exactly.
I've had like 2 drinks already. And listeners, neither Rev nor I talked about the drink for this week with each other because it's going to be, host choice. So I'll be very interested to find out what Rev's been sipping on.
I would venture a guess that we are drinking the exact same thing.
I am drinking the very first drink that we ever talked about.
I am drinking something different. What are you drinking?
Orgasms.
Oh, excellent. Did you take a picture and write down the recipe?
I did. Well, I didn't put the glasses around it, but yeah, I took a picture of the drink.
Awesome.
Yep.
I'm shocked.
Why?
I never thought you would have. I only thought you would. I just thought of one drink for you, and that was it.
Sex with Jennifer?
And that's what I'm drinking.
Well, Sex with Jennifer was my second choice because originally I think it's like 5:30 this afternoon, and I'm getting ready to get all this stuff together because I got a friend over, and she's hanging out this weekend. And I'm like, well, I'm going to make orgasms. I'm like, oh. She's like, what is that? And I tell her, she's like, oh, that sounds really tasty. I'm like, yeah, we're going to make them like a frozen drink this time. And and so I go to get all the ingredients out. There's not even a quarter teaspoon of vodka in the bottom of this bottle. And I'm like, what the fuck? So Marcello's like being all sheepish. Oh, no, I drink it. I'm sorry. I'm like, well, you tell me. I'm like, oh, well, shit. All right, let's see a Sex with Jennifer. I pulled that recipe up and went, God damn it takes vodka too.
Vodka too.
Yeah, so we got in the car, had to drive all the way to Palm Beach Gardens, had to go to Total Wines, get the mammoth gargantuan bottle of vodka, come back. And so, since there's a grocery store right next to Total Wines, we went and got some of that Ready Whip too. So, thinking I had maraschino cherries, but I didn't have those either because he didn't tell me we were out. So the drink pitcher is going to have a nice frosty glass, some Orgasm, and some whipped cream with no cherry.
Oh,
I know.
A de-virgined orgasm.
Exactly. Well, it's kind of like the whole orgasm thing, I guess.
Yeah. Except usually, sometimes you'll get the cherry. So, yeah. Well, why don't you, I don't remember what's in the orgasm. Can you refresh our memory?
Oh, it's easy. It's equal parts.
I love it when orgasms are easy.
Me too. Vodka, Irish cream, and coffee liqueur, and either milk or vanilla ice cream.
Oh, that's right. That's good. Yeah. Is it delicious for you?
It is, and I haven't eaten dinner, so.
Oh, this should be fun.
Yeah, this is like 2.5 drinks now for me.
Excellent. I just had a big dinner. I wanted to have dinner before I started drinking. So to refresh everybody's memory about what's in Sex with Jennifer, we've got 1.5 ounces of coconut rum, an ounce of triple sec, 1.5 ounces of vodka, a dash of grenadine, and fill it up with pineapple juice. Mm-hmm. And she is wonderful, as good as I remember.
She is fabulously tasty.
I was torn between having Sex with Jennifer or a chocolate martini, and I decided I was going to go with Jennifer tonight.
Mm-hmm. She's a little lighter,
Yeah.
She's not as heavy. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Wow. Well, this is a really special show for us, and we've been very excited. We have quite a few announcements.
Yeah, we do. We definitely do.
Yeah, we've been working on some new stuff for to roll out our second year with. I guess the first and the biggest is that we're moving our website, and right now it's ready to go. So if you go to cocktailhour.us, you'll find us. It's pretty simple. We wanted .net, but it wasn't available. So I like this. I just think of it as cocktailhour.us.
Yeah, nice.
It is, and the forum is also moving along with it. So it's cocktailhour.us/forum. And another big thing is we've got some new graphics, thanks to our wonderful friend Charlie, who sent us a great photograph today. She was bored at work and wrote out happy anniversary, first year cocktail hour, Andy and Rev, and took a picture, had a friend of hers take a picture from the roof of where she works. So it's posted over on our Facebook page and also at the forum. But Charlie made some new graphics for us, some logos and stuff, and you can find those on some pretty cool swag over at our Cafe Press store, which you can find at cafepress.com/cocktail hour.
Yay!
So thank you so much, Charlie, for taking all the time. She'd send me something, and I go, "Oh, this is awesome, but can you maybe change this part? Or could you maybe change this one?" I don't know. She must have made like at least 20 different things for us.
Yeah, she's been very, very helpful, and she's done us a humongous favor.
Yeah, just incredible. So Charlie, thank you for all of your support, all of your help with our atrocious, mostly mine, pronunciation.
Mm-hmm.
Just all of the support. We really appreciate you, Charlie. Thank you very much for all that you've done for us.
Yes, we do. We really do appreciate it. It's very, very, very much. Mm-hmm. And that reminds me, I'm looking at our site right now, and it really looks good. And I'm wondering if I'm a first-time, listener because, my best friend told me how great this show was and decided to, hop on to cocktailhour.us. Where would they link to see our swag? I mean, is there...
There isn't one right now.
Oh.
I had a complete crash out, and we lost our old theme. So I've been playing with, for the last few days, a new one. So I'm going to have to get that up there.
Oh, okay.
Right now, I don't have anything for the forum. You can get, I think, under the boards and blogs. Yep, under the boards and blogs page, you can get to the forum. But I'll make sure that there's a link for our Cafe Press store up there pretty soon.
Yay!
But you can get to, we've got 35 members now on the Cocktail Hour Book Club over on Goodreads, and there's been some great conversations going on over there.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, really, really good stuff. So if you want to join in on some of the conversations about the books that we're reading here on the show, you can head over there. We're also doing we're also reading some other books that we're not featuring on the show and having some great discussions on those also. We did recently Cool Side of the Pillow. I think I mentioned that on the last show. And Jill McKnight jumped in, and she was answering questions and talking with us and helping us, not helping us, but, talking with us about that book. We had Lacey Gardner on talking about Tats with us. So if you're interested in that, you can catch up with us by going over to the Cocktail Hour website. One other thing that I wanted to mention, well, actually, I got a couple other things I wanted to mention. If you feel like you want to give us a call and record a question or a comment that you'd like for us to have, we can put it up on the show. We have a phone number now. Yay!
We have really come up in the world, haven't we?
We have.
Dedicated site, a phone number. I mean, my goodness. Swag.
A book group. We are everywhere. We really want to be your one-stop shop for talking about books and fan fiction. So you can give us a call at 414-367-8421 and leave a message. If you don't want it on the show, be sure and state that, okay? Because otherwise everything's up for fair game. And then there's one other big project that I'm working on, and we did a bar rag about it, and it was really funny, but I don't know, maybe we'll put it up anyway, I don't know, but it was really funny. But we're putting together an ebook of all of the cocktails that we had in the first show, or in the first season.
Mm-hmm.
First year.
First season. I love it.
Like we're a fucking TV show.
I love it. Cocktail Hour, the first season. Maybe we'll get Renee O'Connor in the second season.
Maybe. Okay. Anyway, sorry, I got a little...
You got a little ab flashback, didn't you?
I was blinded for a second.
All right. Ooh, Lordy.
So anyway, we're putting together an ebook with all of the recipes for all of the drinks that we've featured in the first year of the show. Other than that, the only other announcement I have is about our writing challenge. I've gotten a couple of questions about what's allowed, what's not allowed. There's no limitations other than bearded clam and cocktail hour.
Yep.
That's it. So have at it, folks. Andy, do you have any announcements?
I'm getting plastered from this second and a half drink.
Awesome.
No, well, I did want to... I did want to say that this is Labor Day weekend for us here in the U.S., and, we'd like to be a little cultural occasionally. The first big Labor Day in the U.S. was observed on September 5th in 1882 by the Central Labor Union of New York. It became a federal holiday in 1894 when, following the deaths of a number of workers at the hands of the U.S. military and U.S. Marshals during the Pullman strike, President Grover Cleveland reconciled with the labor movement. And ultimately what wound up happening is now we all have Labor Day.
And diminished collective bargaining rights.
Yeah, isn't that nice?
Yay,
but corporations will always do the right thing because they're people now.
That's right. Very nice.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, well, let's move off of politics real quick.
Yeah, that could get us in trouble.
So thank you for the brief history lesson. That's important. That's very important.
Mm-hmm. Can I just say one thing?
I'd love for you to say one thing.
Okay, one thing.
Or two, even.
Who the heck? Come on now. Obviously, I wasn't around nor voting age. But Grover Cleveland? What were they thinking electing a man by the name of Grover Cleveland? I mean, come on. That's like sissy name. Grover Cleveland.
Wow.
Sounds like somebody lives in a garbage can.
Yeah, I'm not even sure how to reply.
Grover. Isn't that like a garbage can dweller? On Sesame Street?
Oscar.
Oh, Oscar. Oh, okay.
Grover is cute, blue, and cuddly.
Ew.
Yeah. All right, then. So, any other announcements?
No. I think that's it.
Excellent. Okay, well, we decided that, like we said on the last show, we decided that for our anniversary show, we were going to pick a couple of our favorites, and we've actually heard from quite a few people that we picked well because they're their favorites also.
I know. They're like perennial favorites.
Yeah, absolutely. So we picked Madam President by Blayne Cooper, also known as Advocate, and T. Novan, and All That Matters by Susan Meagher. Mm-hmm. So,
you said it right. Yay.
Which one do you want to start with?
Let's start with Meagher's work first.
All right. Okay. So All That Matters, and I'm just going to continue to cheat and read the summaries.
Before you do, did you see that Susan posted over on either one of our walls, I don't remember if it was Cocktail Hour, mine or yours, that she is eagerly awaiting to get on Cocktail Hour?
No, I think I missed that.
Yeah. She was replying to something I posted that we just couldn't get our schedules to align yet, and she said that she's eagerly wanting to get on our show. I was like,
well, great.
Wow.
Well, let's make that happen then. I know we've got, we'll announce later who's going to be on the next show with us.
I know, it's very exciting.
And then, so I think outside of that, we've got a lot of interest. So yeah, she's kind of a big deal. So let's get her on.
She's kind of a big deal.
We like like her stuff.
We do like her stuff.
Yeah, and I read her latest one not that long ago.
Yeah.
So and I enjoyed it pretty well.
I did too, actually.
You read Smooth Sailing?
I did.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, we briefly talked about it.
We did.
Not on air, but
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well,
So,
good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, so now I guess, go ahead, cheat away.
All right. Life is going down well for Blair Spencer. She's a successful real estate agent, happily married to a man who encourages her to live the independent life she loves, and they're actively working to have a baby. The wrench in the works is that Blair favors adoption, while her husband David desperately wants to have a biological child. The fates are against them, and they finally seek the help of a group of reproductive specialists. One of the doctors, a surgeon named Kylie McKenzie, eventually becomes a good friend to Blair, and she needs all of the friends she can get when things start to go horribly wrong at home. As her marriage teeters on the brink of collapse, she relies more and more on Kylie's friendship. Kylie's happily gay. Blair's happily straight, but the way they structure their relationship leads friends and family to privately question whether the pair is setting themselves up for heartache. They eventually come to a crossroads, which could either destroy their friendship or turn it into what each of them has been seeking. The question is whether each woman can change her view of herself and her needs. The answer is all that matters.
Excellent. Wow. I'm assuming Susan penned that summary, and that's fabulous.
Yeah, it is. So,
you
want to go first?
Yes, please. There are going to be definite big-time spoilers on this show.
Huge.
So please, folks, if you have not read either one of these books that we're going to talk about, stop the podcast, read the stories, and come back on and listen. Make sure you come back and listen. But
come back and listen. It'll be a while because both of these are long.
They're hella long
books.
Hella long. You can get both of them on pdafiction.com. Or you can buy, I know that you can buy All That Matters online as book form. I did not check to see if you can buy it as an ebook.
Yes.
Can you?
Buy all of Meagher's stuff is available in ebook, and you can buy it directly from her website at Brisk Press. If you go to, I think it's SusanMeagher.com or something like that. Hold on, I've got a link to her website.
It's on Cocktail Hour already, I believe, isn't it?
It is. It's SusanSXMeagher.com, and you can buy all of her books directly there.
Oh, good. And I'm glad they're in ebooks too.
Yes.
I did not check to see if I know Madam President. It's they've had 3 or 4 reprints, and I don't know if they're an ebook because I'm not quite sure who the publisher is.
They are not.
They're not.
They are not an ebook.
Well, you can, like I said, you can get them for free online. You can get them, at least both of them, in paperback form. Meagher stuff you can get in ebook form. So there's no reason that you can't get your fix. So
and to be honest with you, listeners, All That Matters on PDA Fiction, there's a final chapter in the published book that's not on the online version, and I'll be honest with you, it made it worth buying.
Yes, it did. As a matter of fact, I decided to reread the online versions that I already had in my iPad.
Okay.
But I had purchased the paperback version, and I never opened it up and read it, aside from opening up the beginning and seeing that Susan autographed it. And so I've never creased it, never opened it up, never looked at it, aside from that. And I put it on the shelf, and I remember you and I talking about this months back. And I finished reading All That Matters from the free online version, and I went, oh crap, yeah, there's that extra chapter. So I hurried up, went over and got the paperback and cracked it open. I'm like, holy crap! I had no idea that she would swing that around the way she did. I'm like, oh my God, that is so worth buying the book. So we're not going to tell you what the fantabulous, crazy last chapter is all about, because trust me, you will want to buy, if you like the story, you'll want to buy the cleaned up version and read that last chapter. Although, I'm one of those people that if the story is engaging, I don't want it to end. If it's really, really, really well written, and even if it's about the mundane, I'm so enthralled. Like these 2 characters in this story, I am so amazed by Susan's talent. And this was my first foray into her work. And I love this book so much that even though it's like 1,000 pages long when you convert it for the iPad, it's just, I still get to the end and go, I want more, because I'm greedy like that. And when I met Susan at GCLS, I took her aside from her partner, like pulling her away from the room, like, we need to get somewhere where I can talk to you in private. So I'm yanking on the poor woman, come on out here. And so we're talking, like, where is the sequel? I'm like, come on, woman, I want a sequel. She looks at me like, calm down, you're all right, little camper.
Well, we'll be able to, and we'll talk with her about that, because I think, it does, even if it was a short story sequel, that new ending really did open it up. But let's not start at the end. I do want to say, though, that I'm over at briskpress.com, and the ebook of All That Matters is only $8.
You're kidding me.
No, it's $8.
Wow.
The paperback you can order from Brisk Press, but you can go buy it probably in your favorite brick and mortar store. But if you want the ebook, it's only $8. So it's and I'll be honest with you, this book is well, I would pay twice that.
Yeah, me too. I think I did.
For this one.
I bought the published version because I think at the time I bought the published,
I think it's $17.
Is it?
On the website it's $17.
Well, I think this was a few years back, I purposely bought the paperback version because it was one of those, with every paperback that you buy, it's autographed by Susan. And this is way before I ever met her. So I bought the autographed version.
Yeah, she's definitely... Oh, she signed our shirts, didn't she?
She did. She signed our shirts. It was too cute because I saw her
she signed a boob.
She came in the room and I go, Susan! And she's like, how you doing? I'm like, good. I'm like, sign shirts are over there. So she just toddled over there to sign the shirts. I'm like, I didn't even give her time to like scope the room out. I'm like, go over there, sign the shirts. Sign both of them. She's a trooper.
Well, let's talk about the story.
Yeah, let's talk about the story. There are okay. I love the two main characters, and they're definitely Uber, Xena, and Gabrielle.
I don't ever see them that way.
Really?
And I tried. This time when I read it, I tried. I have a very distinct picture of Blair in my head, and Kylie too, and neither of them look anything like. I cannot get Blair to look in my head like Gabrielle, no matter how hard I try.
Wow, no kidding.
I think their personalities are so insanely different that I just can't do it.
Well, I think that Susan did the. I don't think they're like. I think she took the essence of who those two characters are and spun them. Like I'm talking about later seasons, where Gabrielle is much more, come into her own. She's got more of a self-identity, and Xena conversely is a little bit less of knows who the hell she is, a little bit more confused perhaps, but still, a true blue trooper. So I could feel essences of the two characters in the story, but yeah, Susan definitely made Kylie and Blair her own.
I kept forgetting that Kylie had black hair. I kept thinking of her as having, like a reddish brown almost.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I until it was much later in the book when you finally read something about Kylie's curly, black hair.
Yeah.
And that just. But anyway, I mean, that's not really important. Go ahead.
Well, I highlighted, and I love the iPad because you can highlight things like make little notes. And I highlighted several things that I think that make this story for me so personal. Is the interaction and between the two characters and the dialogue. And it's sometimes it's very, very sweet. And it's really of no necessarily consequence, where it doesn't advance the story really, but it's just there, and you're so glad she put it in there. And like I said, I didn't read the printed version. I left it on the shelf, so this stuff could be out of it. But one of my very, very favorite scenes starts out fairly early in the book, when Blair is finally pregnant, and she's going through the early you can fall asleep through anything phase.
Oh, I know where you're going.
And they went to, her and Kylie went to, I forget what the hell it was.
I think it was the symphony or something.
Symphony or something. And it says, on the way home, Blair sat in the passenger seat trying to control her temper. I can't believe you let me do that. I didn't let you do anything, Kylie said, trying to keep the edge out of her voice. We've been over this 4 times already. The woman didn't mind. We made eye contact and she gave me a signal to tell me not to wake you. Kylie, I slept on a woman's shoulder during the performance. I drooled on her. She had on cotton, Kylie said.
I love that part. She had on cotton.
Wincing when she heard how weak it sounded. But, truly, it's moments like this in this story that, you live for in this book.
I highlighted one even earlier than that.
Which one?
It was their very first meeting, and they're at the fertility clinic, and the doctor that they're seeing, that Blair and her husband David are seeing, has invited the rest of the doctors in the group in, mm-hmm. And as they're waiting for all of the doctors to come in, Kylie's a surgeon. And Blair is just saying something about how she hopes she never has to work with Dr. Mackenzie, and here it says, well, the woman perched on the edge of Dr. Green's desk and looked at Blair for a moment. People generally don't start disliking me until after we've met. Is it the name? Are you anti-Scottish? Were you frightened by plaid at a young age?
That's excellent.
I love that, and they have such a good rapport right from the start. It's just a lot of witty repartee all the time.
Yes,
when they're getting to know each other.
Mm-hmm. It's true. It does. It starts out very early and it continues. It doesn't get lost as the topics get more serious. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you'll find writers lose that sweet or soft or comic edge as you get into heavier topics. But Susan doesn't let that happen. She can dish out some really heavy melodrama, but yet keep the faith to the characters. And case in point, it's a great segue. Case in point, one of the other notes that I made was that she weaves humor in a serious discussion. And case in point, Blair is knowing she's going to, I believe at this point, she knows she's going to get a divorce from David. I'm not 100% sure, but you might be able to know when I read this dialogue. But it's better to have 2 parents, Blair said. Her eyes were filled with tears, and she looked like a small, frightened child. Well, what if David wanted the baby, but died right before you gave birth? That might happen, Blair said. Don't give me any more ideas. So it could have been that they were almost at the divorce stage, or maybe getting close to it. But they were getting divorced. I believe she had made up her mind that they were going to get divorced, and she was contemplating giving the baby up for adoption. Yeah. And because she was concerned that she wouldn't be able to do it on her own, and the baby would be better off with 2 parents. Yes.
And Kylie was going about explaining to her that she already loves her baby enough to even consider giving it up so that it has the best life that it can possibly have.
Proving
but you're right. There's humor woven throughout. Even it absolutely during the most dramatic scenes, there's still something in there that reflects their relationship and the closeness and the connection that they have, the ability to kind of cut through it and ease the pressure for the other person a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, I just hit the wrong button.
Very, very good. I do want to say that the David's mom, one of my favorite scenes is when Blair comes home after a hard day showing houses or doing whatever it is that she was doing, and David's mom, Sadie, is at Kylie's house, and they're both blasted out of their minds.
The scotch bottle's empty.
I don't know. There's so much going on. I mean, the story goes over a really long period of time.
Well, it goes through the entire, it goes through the very ends of them trying to get pregnant to Blair being pregnant, all through pregnancy and childbirth.
And they had been trying to get pregnant after Blair and Kylie had been friends for
I would imagine a few
many
months. Yeah.
Many
months. It's probably about a year. I think this story takes place over a year. Oh, I made another note. You're going to laugh. I love this part. I mean, there's just so many wonderful moments, but I love this one too. Blair says, "I've lost all sense of decorum. I guess that's what happens when there are so many people poking around between your legs that the hookers are jealous." And Kylie's like, "Braggart." I love Susan's sense of humor. She's just hilarious.
One thing I did want to talk about, though, is, and again, this is huge spoiler-filled stuff. So if you haven't read it and you plan to, which you should either stop now or just be prepared to know exactly what you're going to be reading. Blair, her perspective really changes a lot. Kylie, even though she like her family, like her mom and her sister say, everybody was able to see very clearly that Kylie was very much in love with Blair very early. All of her poker buddies and her family were able to see it. And Blair is when she finally comes to the realization that she's falling in love with Kylie and that she's sexually attracted to her. One of the things that Susan really makes sure that we understand is that Blair is not, like she keeps saying that, I'm not a super passionate person, which I didn't agree with, because the way that Blair pursued her and the way that she expressed her love for Kylie in private with the kissing and the touching, and then eventually with the sex, I thought she was very passionate about it. But
she's passionate about her sexual encounter, but that doesn't make her, a mad love kind of girl outside of the bedroom, if you will.
Right. I mean, I can see that, but I never connected very much with Blair and felt. It's hard to explain. I mean, I really like the character. I liked her as an individual. I was able to understand her motivations and how she felt. But whereas with Kylie, she was. I was able to connect with her and empathize with her, but I was never able to do that with Blair. She always kind of seemed. It's really hard. It's hard for me to describe what I was feeling toward Blair, but I never had that kind of connection with her.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay, so
I did
here's
want to say that I made a note. I'm just going to read my little note when Blair is having the baby, which was, to me, it was a very moving thing, because I made a note that Kylie has the baby, and the doctor says, do you want to tell Blair that you have? I'm not going to say what gender the baby is. So, do you want to tell Blair you have a whatever? Steve asked, gently placing a hand on Kylie's back. And the note that I made is, this brought back my own kid's birth. And I did cry. It was amazing and kind of gross. And
because of the vernix and a little bit of blood? Is that why?
Well, my wife had a vaginal delivery, and there was just stuff everywhere, and it was kind of gross.
But still, it's an amazing, monumental moment.
It was, yeah, and don't want to get too much into it because this isn't what people tune in to listen to. But my kid didn't cry. We had some scares. We were like 2 or 3 times getting ready to rush in to have a C-section, and then after he erupted from my wife in a thoroughly gross and disgusting way, he never made a sound. And the doctors came and they whisked him away and had him off to the side and checking him over. There were 3 different doctors over with him, and he never made a sound the entire time. And finally, after 5 minutes, TJ and I are kind of like, what the fuck is going on over there? And one of them decides to look over and go, oh, no, he's fine. He's fine. Don't worry about it. He's just not making any noise. And I don't think the kid cried for the first 2 weeks we had him.
No kidding.
I wish for those quiet days now.
Speaking of childbirth and such, I thought it was really moving when Blair was finally able to fall in love with her baby. And Susan described that moment of, because Blair was so worried that she wouldn't be able to connect, that she would think of her child as a parasite, which she did very, very, very early on, which I would think would not be very Gabrielle-esque. But when it finally hit, when she finally fell in love with the baby, and Susan described it so well. I mean, I actually tear up every time I read that section.
Really?
Yeah.
That was interesting for me because I didn't know that. I didn't know that a lot of women felt that way. My wife immediately. It was an immediate thing, and I was very. That was interesting because the way that she described it, it didn't make you not. It didn't make me feel badly toward Blair. It made me feel bad for her. Yeah. But it didn't make me feel badly toward her.
I got you.
But the scene where David comes to Kylie's work.
Oh yeah.
That was awesome.
That was awesome.
She did a great job of writing David, I think.
She did. I mean, David's, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but David's kind of like 90% of the guys I've ever known.
Really?
Yeah, pretty much.
Aww.
Yeah. So, I mean, there are moments that, you find David humorous. There are moments that you're like, roll your eyes, he's like, oh, quintessential guy. But,
I never found him humorous, I don't think.
I mean, there are times that he can be an asshole, I mean, yeah. He just seemed like every quintessential guy I've ever hung out with.
He was a big fucking baby. But you know what? One thing about Susan, not everything, I don't think, but several of the things that I've read from her have male-female intercourse going on.
Yeah, she said, when we talked about it, she said that that really disturbs a lot of her lesbian readers.
We should talk with her about that when she comes
on. Yeah, because you'll be fascinated by the answer if she holds to the same answer. You'll be fascinated by how she discusses that, what she thinks. Yeah.
Well, let's leave that at that then.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into that with her when she comes on the show.
I love this fucking book. I do.
Yeah,
I
do.
Love it so damn much.
It's like there are a small handful of books that I reread every year, and this is one of them. Mm-hmm. This one, the T.O.P. Keylakota is another one, and the one we're going to talk about next is one of the, is another one that I reread every year. Excellent storytelling. So I guess aside from going through more and more scenes that we really enjoyed, I mean, it was an excellent book. If you haven't read it, get your ass out there and buy it, or read it online for free. But I would really highly recommend that you give the author a couple of bucks in gratitude for making this enjoyable story available.
And I'm telling you, I swear to you, this isn't like all the other times when I've said, I promise, I swear, this is true, and it's going to be great, and I lied, or I didn't think I was lying, but some of you thought I was, but this time, I'm telling you, spend the fucking $8 because the last chapter spins this shit around.
Yeah, I was shocked. I was like, oh my God, what the hell?
I did too, and I read it, I was like, Oh, no fucking way!
It was good. It was good.
It was well worth it for the last chapter. I'd pay twice. I'd pay $16 just for that last chapter alone.
No lie.
Better?
I'm better.
Well, listeners, you missed it, but now we have full drinks, full tummies, and empty bladders, and we are ready for our next segment.
Yay, next segment! I needed that little break, though.
I did too. I love Jennifer.
Jennifer is a saucy wench. I like Jennifer myself.
Oh my God! The coconut and the pineapple. So good. And on that note, on the note of so good, let's talk about Madam President.
Let's talk about Madam President.
It is the first in the series. There's Madam President and then First Lady, which we're not going to talk about. And Madam President was written by Blayne Cooper and T. Novan. Online, you can find it under Advocate and T. Novan. I'm just going to read the summary, because I'm all about the cheating now. This is just a lot easier and more coherent.
Okay. Especially if you've been drinking.
My ramblings.
Especially if you've been having sex with Jennifer. Just saying.
I just want to say, so listeners, we were doing we've been doing the Hangout over on Google Plus, right, on G Plus. So if you ever see us over there and you want to hang out, Andy's always up for a hangout.
Oh yeah.
So we were hanging out and with 3 or 4 other people, and we're getting off the line, and Andy goes, "Oh, hey, Reb." I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "What did you say? Do you remember?"
No.
You just go, "Pussy."
Oh, yeah. She starts laughing. It was hilarious.
And that just goes to prove it's an involuntary thing. I can't help it, but that was good. And I giggled for about 20 minutes after that. So.
Oh, really? That's just too damn funny. And you were going to go get some. So, I mean, giggling is not conducive to getting some, is it?
It wasn't bad,
Okay.
And it was nice. What?
So you're telling me you did get some? I
don't like to share my personal stuff, but it was nice to have my wife hang out with us, and
that was nice.
I like it when she can hang out with us.
I do too. I wish she'd do it more often.
She's a bashful woman.
Well, you guys were practically in the dark anyway, so it's not like we got to see her and her Salim Habib towel on the top of her head, but.
She always has that towel on in the evenings after her bath. I love her. I love it when she has that towel on her head.
My mother used to do that, so it kind of grosses me out.
Oh, yeah. I don't. My wife is a mother, but when I look at her in her towel and her pajamas that she had on, I have a hard time thinking of her in that way.
Oh, look at you conditioned. Isn't that nice?
Anyway, so we're going to talk about Madam President.
All right, let's read the summary.
All right. Devlin Marlowe, the first woman president of the United States, has just been elected. Breaking with the tradition of hiring a political writer to chronicle her administration, President Marlowe selects Lauren Strayer, a professional biographer with a reputation for absolute honesty. Lauren, her incredibly ugly pug dog, whose name is Gremlin, by the way, and her computer take up residence. See, it's Jennifer, and she's messing with my tongue. Ooh.
Excellent. Damn, Jennifer.
All right, so Lauren and her incredibly ugly pug dog and her computer take up residence at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, where she begins to understand and eventually love the complex woman who is both the leader of a great nation and the mother of 3 children. This book...
Wait, that was it? That was all the summary?
Yes. You got to look at the difference here. Susan Maher writes insanely long, detailed books. Mm-hmm. And also apparently writes insanely long, detailed summaries.
Yeah, but Susan hasn't been doing that the last few books.
I don't know. I don't generally read I don't know. I don't pay much attention to the summary, I guess. I like this one. It's straight to the point.
Yes, it is.
All right.
It doesn't give a whole lot away, but it gives you enough to let the reader determine whether or not they would like that kind of book.
And, this is pretty much what it really is about.
Yeah, pretty much.
With All That Matters, there's a lot of different stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
With Madam President, I mean, even though, well, I guess we can just dive right in. Even though,
what the hell are we doing?
Diving right in. Dev is a pretty straightforward character. They both are, really. Devlin is, she's widowed. Her wife was killed in a car accident by a drunk, and she has 3 kids that she's raising. She's the former governor of Ohio. And she's also a third party. She was a third party candidate. The party is called the Emancipation Party.
Yep.
Which there are a lot of, for writing this book. I think the original one was in the early, either the early 21st century or like 1990 something. I can't remember. I don't know when because I'm looking.
I remember a date of 2021.
Oh, let me see. She was elected in November 2020. It looks like this came out originally in 2001.
Okay.
And then it was published in 2006 by PD, which is why we don't have an ebook.
Damn it.
But this was before the Tea Party,
mm-hmm.
So I thought that was interesting. And some of the stuff that they had going on in this book, even though it's only 9 years in the future right now, was almost 20 years in the this was written 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And they're talking about 3D TVs, or actually it was kind of holographic TVs, cars with auto drive, video calls,
mm-hmm.
And really all that stuff is here now.
Yeah, it's amazing. Although the auto drive cars are still in their infancy.
Right, absolutely.
They can auto park that's about it. No, they can actually go between the lines and prevent you from like doing a rear end collision or something.
Yeah, and they can tell when a car's on the side,
yep,
and with
yep,
the GPS
yep.
stuff. So it really, I don't think, is that far off.
No, not at all.
So Devlin Marlowe is, she is determined to get Lauren Strayer as her biographer.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to say that Barbara Davies was one of the beta readers on this. Just wanted to say that.
She's awesome.
Yeah. And Lauren is like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I didn't vote for her.
For that damn Yankee.
Exactly.
Lauren's this little Southern belle from Tennessee, and she didn't vote for that damn Yankee.
and the first time she really really is taken by Dev, by her appearance, is when she's in the dentist office and has laughing gas.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, that's how it opens up.
Scene.
Yeah, that's how the book opens.
Exactly. Yeah, it was a great scene. You've got 2 really good authors working together
mm-hmm.
on this book,
yep.
and I kept going since this is only the second time that I've read it.
What? No, it's second time. Oh my God, I've lost track of how many times I've read this book.
Yeah, I mean, I really loved it the first time I read it. I just never got back to it, so it was great to read it again. There was a lot of stuff I remembered as it was happening. Dev's best friend and chief of staff, David,
mm-hmm.
is
More Davids.
Huh?
More Davids.
That's right. Yeah, 2 Davids going on in this one. That's right. He was great.
Mm-hmm. And his wife Beth was a trip.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So what happens is Deb has decided she has to have Lauren as her biographer. Lauren says, thanks, but no thanks. I have no interest in doing this. She's convinced that that she's going to be told what to write, or
mm-hmm.
what she does write is then going to be edited, and it's essentially she's going to have a ghostwriter, and she
right.
has too much integrity to allow that to happen. Dev finally convinces her that, you know what, you have complete access as long as it doesn't affect national security or my kids. You can do whatever you want to do. And that convinces Lauren to do it. And then she moves into the White House, and you know, there are some people that are really pissed off about it because Dev is also openly lesbian.
Mm-hmm.
So she's not only the first female president, but the first gay president. And there's not really a lot of political intrigue in this. It really is mostly about their relationship and the kids. I mean, there's some politics, but not much.
No, yeah, you're right. There's not much. There is a little bit. And there's also some pretty scary fucking moments with an assassination attempt.
Right. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
yes.
some food poisoning. Oh, Lordy. Candy Delaney. Oh, Lordy. Was it Delaney or Delancey? I can't remember. It's Delaney.
I think it was Delaney. I don't remember.
I think it was Delaney.
Like Candy Delaney, I think it is. Yeah, and then Clancy was the morgue worker.
Oh, God. That was too damn funny. But, yeah, there's not a whole lot of political intrigue, but it's interesting. It really is, because they don't get into a lot of detail, but you know it's behind the scenes because Dev will work late, or she can't make something on time, or she misses her kid's birthday because she has to do some overseas work with the Emir or whatever the Scion or whatever the hell he was, which was a really interesting scene in itself. But with
that was awesome.
That was pretty awesome. Dev and Lauren went to, I don't know.
It was the U.S. The Emirates.
Yeah, and. So they're at the embassy, and they're having some kind of a dinner thing, and the prince, one of the I guess the crown prince has told Dev basically he's interested in getting Lauren in the sack. And Dev's like, "Oh, hail to the no!"
And they're not together at this point.
No, they're not. she's like, no, it's not happening. I'm sorry, she's not, on the table. She's not open for this type of.
She's mine.
Dalliances.
And she totally lies about it.
Yeah, it was really great. And so, of course, she has to tell Lauren at the 11th hour, like, "Do you trust me?"
They're walking in.
Yeah,
and Lauren's like, "You told him
what?" Oh, it was an excellent scene.
It was, and Lauren's response, because the prince will not let it go.
Yeah.
And Dev, the president of the United States, is ready to punch this guy in the face to make him leave Lauren alone. And this is, for Dev, this is really a wake-up call, like, holy crap, I feel way too much for her.
Yeah. And
for Lauren, it was like, okay, I'm just going to play along, because she wasn't at that. She was starting to kind of wonder. There was some of that typical, oh, she's really, she's a beautiful woman, and she's got great lips or whatever. Oh, where did that come from?
Yeah,
I've not really thought that before. And then, oh, who are you kidding? You felt this before, blah 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 blah. Mm-hmm. But it's really minimal. It's really minimal.
It's very played down in the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And when Lauren starts to figure out, there's some great flirty scenes in there too, when they go visit Dev's parents for the first time with David and Beth, and they're playing Truth or Dare.
Yeah, they're playing Truth or Dare. Yeah. Stinky. Stinky. But yeah, they have a Truth or Dare with the tattoo thing. That was too damn funny.
I mean, there's some great, really flirty scenes in there before they consummate their relationship, and there's some really interesting things about Dev and her beliefs and her outlook on love and partnership.
Hey, Rev,
huh?
Nipple. Oh my God, it's a nipple.
That Dev's mom is fantastic.
She is awesome.
She sends Lauren a very special book with a fantastic inscription in it. So I encourage you to read that. That was great.
I bought that book back in.
Did you?
I did back in the early '80s.
I have one similar to it. I don't think I can't remember what the name of it. It's in my bedroom, hidden away with the ammo can. I can't remember what the name of it was.
Which reminds me, happy belated birthday.
Thank you very much. I haven't purchased anything yet.
No?
Outside of a few books, but
it made me think of when you said ammo can.
Yeah, I know. Because I went and I told TJ, I'm like, did you know we could buy toys on Amazon? And she's like, I had no idea. I didn't either, but we'll go check that out.
Yeah,
I have a nice credit now. I got Amazon cards from 3 different people.
Oh, so. Nice. She racked up, sister.
You know it. I'm hoping to buy a new. What did Iman call it? A new flashlight.
A new flashlight. Yeah, that thing's the bomb. I gotta get a replacement.
Mine's starting to wear down a little bit. Yeah. Okay. So anyway.
Little off topic there.
A little bit. And I like that. Dev made a comment about killing the subtext for Xena. Lauren she also writes this adventure series with a female, almost like a Lara Croft type character, I think.
Oh yeah, the Adrian Nash.
Yeah, and Dev keeps telling her that she needs to have Adrian needs a girlfriend. Mm-hmm. And there was one scene where she's in the middle of a meeting with like the director or the secretary of agriculture or something, and Dev's trying to work out plot schemes for Lauren's newest book, trying to convince her that Adrian needs a girlfriend, and if she gives her a boyfriend, she's going to fuck up the subtext, just like they did on Xena.
Yeah, they always have boyfriend of the week.
Exactly, that was good. Great.
That was good.
One of the things about this book, since it was the second time I was reading it, and I've read more of both Blayne Cooper. I think I've read almost all of Blayne Cooper's books. Love it. Oh, God, I love her sense of humor and her storytelling. It's great. And then I've read a few more things of T. Novan, more specifically, our reading of Words Heard in Silence. And they wrote this together. So what I tried to do as I'm reading these scenes is to try and figure out who wrote what. And I think that I did a pretty good job of being able to identify specific scenes that were written either solely or primarily by one or the other. Blayne Cooper has a really twisted, fun sense of humor, and T. Novan writes really good, serious, emotional scenes.
Well, that's true, yeah.
So I know T. Novan has expressed a little bit of interest in coming on. We did reach out to Blayne Cooper, but we hadn't heard back.
Yeah, I think she's a little bit shy.
I understand. That's what I've come to understand too, and that's okay.
But we hold on. Let me put pause. Hold on. Sorry, listeners, you can't hear this part. Okay, listeners, and we're back. We're such torturous people.
Well, one of the things I would love to, if we can get either one or both of them on, I would love to be able to ask them about that, what their writing process was, and I'm always interested in that anyway. When there's two or more authors working on a single piece,
yeah.
How do they work?
How do they collaborate? Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I don't know. Do you have anything else that you want to say about Madam President?
There was another one of those stories. It's very touching, and there were a lot of fun scenes that don't necessarily further the plot. And I think that's, to me, I think that so many authors now are either giving in to their publishers, or they've just kind of sped up the process, or in a storytelling where you miss some of those really special moments, or they could be, like the moments that could be that they're not telling you about anymore, because either there's just so many words that they can go to, like word count. They're like there's a maximum word count, or they have to. I don't know. They're just maybe living within constraints that don't allow for these sweet and special moments like you see in the online versions of these stories that don't further the plot, but they're a lot of damn fun, like Gremlin's relationship to Devlin.
That's hilarious.
I mean, come on. I mean, seriously, that doesn't further the plot at all. But
no.
If they didn't have it in there, I mean, it was so much fun to encounter these two that. Gremlin hates Dev, and Dev's like always trying to bribe Grem with, sausages and stuff because she can't understand why this dog just hates her from, the get-go.
And they growl at each other.
But it's just so sweet, in its own way.
It gives you more of an insight into, scenes like that, like you said, they don't really further the plot, but they do give you more of an ability to connect with the emotional side of the characters.
Yes. But in fiction, I mean, when you're going to buy a book, maybe people, I don't know. I'm sure the publishers have some winning formula that can't have more than this word count, and it has to have sex scenes every 42.4 pages, whatever. But in all of that, you're missing out on things like that. You know what I mean? On these little scenes that just make you identify more with characters. Because they're just trying to speed up the book. They're just trying to, get to, girl meets girl, and they have adversity, and they get together, and then there's communication problems, and they break up, and they get back together. So it's like, they gotta move. And so there's not a lot of room for this, this like meandering, relaxing, long drawn out tale where you get to know these characters better.
And both of the books that we picked today for today's show, they don't conform to that. I'm glad that you brought that up, because in both of these there's no we get together. There's some type of a horrible thing that happens that forces them apart, and then they find their way back to each other. Neither one of these is like that.
No.
They're actually both kind of similar in the way that they both couples meet, and they take a long time to get to know one another, and we get to experience the development of their emotional bond and their partnership beginning, and there's drama that each couple experiences. Blair with, there's a couple of scares with the baby, and dealing with David and Sadie, which really only causes to bring Kylie and Blair closer together. And with Madam President, you have the assassination attempt, the children, the food poisoning, and the issues with Lauren's parents.
Yes, mother, depression, death, yeah.
Exactly, and her father being pretty much disowning her, Lauren's ex-husband, and none of those things force them apart. They draw them closer together. That's interesting that we both really enjoy these stories, and they're different from the standard formula.
Yes, but I understand why publishers squeeze their authors into the standard formula, because it's proven to work.
It does, and yeah.
But the sad part is we're all missing these wonderful moments that basically is like film making. It's like these wonderful scraps of film that get left on the cutting room floor, and it's the same with books. That there's these wonderful moments of connection that are just chopped out, but you don't get that with these two stories. I mean, and I'm not, God, there's nothing worse than reading a book that they leave the stories in where the authors don't tell a compelling enough story, and the story rambles and goes on. You're like, Jesus, when's this going to be over? Because, I
just read one of those.
I hate giving up on a book, especially if you got some time invested in it. You're thinking maybe, it's like when we do these shows. Some shows are better than others because sometimes we're more nervous in the beginning, or because there's some special guests on and they're like, pinnacle of like, oh, they're authors, oh my God, they're so great. And then you kind of step off your game or whatever. Where was I going? Anyway, but, everybody can be a little off. But sometimes when they settle down You know, they get in their groove, they settle down, and the story can get better. I mean, you do encounter those where at the beginning you're like, but you keep going and you're hoping you get that payoff, and you do. That all this, you know, this like, okay, now they've relaxed, they've gotten to a point where they're okay now. Either they thought about it some more, they did a little bit more work on it, I don't know what. But you know, sometimes they just pull it off and the rest is fine. It does happen. But there's nothing worse than reading a book where, you know, it's like it shows great promise, but then it meanders and meanders, but it's not enjoyable meandering. And you're just like, oh, geez, Louise, when is this going to be over? Oh, my God. And you don't want to give up on it because you got too much time in it. So that doesn't happen with these. These give you a lot of insights. They build the characters outside of what the publisher's formula is, but yet you're okay. You know, you're not at a point where you go, oh, fuck, is this over yet? When are we going to get past? You never have to skim. You never do. You never have to flip pages to get back on track. You know,
I want to say that specifically with Susan Maher's work, you know, she's self-published, but she still has an editor that goes through and works with her to get the story right.
Yeah.
You know, there are some self-published books that, you know, I read something recently that was self-published that I don't think an editor touched, and somebody had made a comment that they thought that it was self-published because nobody else would touch it. and you know, that might be true.
It might be.
But it's important, just like, you know, whether you're writing something for, you know, that's fanfic or that's going to reside online and remain unpublished, or if you're writing a novel, have somebody else look at it.
Yeah.
You need a beta. You need an editor. You have to have these things, because no matter how many times you read something that you've written, you are going to miss something.
That's true.
You have the story in your head. You know what you're thinking. You know what your thought processes are. You know what you want your characters to do. But you're not going to be able to tell yourself that you're not hitting that mark.
Yeah.
You know,
yep.
and I think we're both kind of rambling a bit, but these are great books. They don't meet that standard formula, and that's where we had started this, with the standard formula.
Everything's full circle, sister.
We need a beta.
No, stop it.
We need an editor.
Oh, no.
But, you know, it's our anniversary and we can do whatever the hell
that's
we want.
right.
And you're along for the ride because you love it.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
There you go.
Yeah.
What the hell I was going to say? Oh, you know, but I don't want to slam those formulaic ones too much, because there are a couple queens of the formula that I will always read every one of their books, and
but
you know,
it works. But it works for you. You know it. You already know it going in,
absolutely.
And that's okay.
Absolutely. I mean, but I think because you and I have talked about this a lot. Like, you are very anti. That many-year gap, whether it's the many-year gap.
Oh, Lordy. I hate that. And those fucking flashbacks every 25 pages. Oh, my God.
Those things don't bother me as much. And there have been many, many stories that I've read, whether they're by K.G. McGregor or Jerry Hill or Georgia Beers or any of the other really, you know, big lesfic writers where that follow that formula, and I love them. I do. I can't help it. I love them. But reading all of those and then reading something like the two stories that we focused on tonight really is refreshing.
Yes. Yes, you know? Yes. And I agree with you. I have enjoyed books by the authors that you've mentioned. Although, in passing, I must say that I almost stopped reading Jerry Hill because of that damn book, The Cottage. But,
that was so sad.
But aside from that, of course, I haven't gone back and read any more Jerry Hill, but I heard that her more recent stuff is very good, too. So
that was so sad.
Oh, my God. I was so mad. Oh, Lord, I was so mad at the ending. I'm like, God damn it, Jerry Hill, my God. So, but yeah.
But you know what? You know what's going to happen, so you can't be too pissed off.
Well, true. But you're hoping it's like a dream. You know what I mean? Like, oh, it was all a bad nightmare. But no.
It's not.
Anyway.
She dies.
Oh, Lordy. Oh, God. Listeners, I know we just went on a rant. But seriously, though, The Cottage.
It's our anniversary. We can do what we want.
I know it. Seriously, though, listeners, if you want a fucking tearjerker where one of the main characters die, then read The Cottage. Oh, my God. I was so mad.
I think there was only one other book that I read where you know that they're going to die, but I wished I hadn't read it. And that was First.
I didn't read it.
From Kim Pratekl. Although I didn't read the published version because, you know, it's not available on ebook.
Kim, what the hell, sister? Get busy.
PD.
She's one of our Facebook friends, so we can razz her a little bit.
It's PD. They're working on it.
What
That's what we keep hearing.
All
right, then. So anyway, I forgot what we were rambling
on.
Well,
just, you know what? Give the authors some money. Buy the book, but you can still download the free version that's not as chopped out at PDA Fiction, and just give the authors some money. You know,
this
they
is
can
what
use
I'm going to say.
Come on.
Go download Madam President, and then go buy All That Matters.
Well, I think they should buy both of them, but if you only have a couple of bucks, buy All That Matters. Unless you
don't do ebooks, then go buy them both.
Yeah, that's true too.
That's your punishment for not being electronic, for not being part of the digital age.
Oh God! But you can't read them on your laptop. It's not like you have to have an actual like Kindle or Nook or iPad. You could read them on your laptop. You know, get yourself like those little pads for the laptop. It keeps it cool. Lay in your damn bed. Prop your 2 pillows up. Lean back. Enjoy the ride. That's all I'm saying.
That's what I'm gonna do later. I'm gonna prop up on some pillows, lean back, and enjoy the ride.
The pillows under your ass or on your back? Righty then.
Under my knees, baby.
Okay, I forgot you. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're gonna introduce a new segment to our show, and hopefully our drunk asses will remember it in the future.
I wrote it down.
Did you? Okay, good. Yay. So here it is. Who would you date? So, the whole idea is, of the stories that we reviewed and the main characters, which one, if you had the ability to pop into that fictional world and date one of these characters, which one would it be?
Okay, do we have to pick one from each story?
No, it could just be one. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
You could just you could just say, of these 2 stories, the character I most, would want to date is this one. Or you could even do, okay, I date this one in this story and this one in this story. It's up to you. It's open. It's easy, just like me.
I was going to say, just like you.
I beat you to it. Okay,
so you go first. It was your idea. I like it. You go first.
This is tough. Because I find myself gravitating toward the Gabrielle-esque characters. So, and I'm going to do both stories. I got to say, in Madam President, I would date Lauren. Because I love Southern accents, I love blondes, and feisty women. They are my favorites. So, Lauren gets the thumbs up for the dating. As far as All That Matters, I got to tell you, that's a toss-up. Because I really like both characters for very different reasons. But, all said and done, I got to go with Kylie because I think Kylie is just the nurturer of the 2. She's the more nurturer, and I just think she would be a lot of fun to go and do the stuff with.
Excellent.
Whether it's going to the museums or going to the symphony or just staying at home and dancing in the living room in your bare feet to a piece of music. I just think Kylie would be. I would relate more to her than I would to Blair.
I pick exactly the same as you on both counts.
No kidding.
But I have slightly different reasons.
Okay.
For Madam President, I would date Lauren because of her. She's not a workaholic. I'm married to a workaholic. That's very difficult for me. I wouldn't want to be married to the president. but I think Lauren, she's got because for her, I totally see Gabrielle and her abs and her boobs. So I would go for Lauren and her abs and rack and work schedule.
Yeah.
And in All That Matters, I would go for Kylie because of all of the reasons that you stated and her strap-on.
Oh, hell yeah. She knows how to work that strap-on, sister. Woo!
That was an awesome scene.
That was an awesome sex scene, I must say.
That was great.
And it's funny, as much as I like Madam President, they did not have really graphic sex scenes below the waist, I should say. Above the waist, sure, there's a lot of boob work, but below the waist, hell no, there went nothing.
After, I read that one first, and then I read All That Matters.
Mm-hmm.
And after I got done with All That Matters, I tried to go back to remember the sex scenes in Madam President, and I couldn't. All I could remember was the nipple thing.
Yep, that was it, pretty much.
And yeah, I don't really remember. I mean, I remember the kids coming in, and the morning after their first time together.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe it wasn't even their first time together. It was a little bit later, I think. But see, I don't remember the sex in that one as much.
No, there wasn't. It was above the waist, and then the next scene is they were sated and relaxing and sleeping together, and somebody was snoring, somebody was drooling, and they were holding on to each other. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, so then there you go. We have 2 votes for Kylie and 2 votes for Lauren.
Yay!
Nice idea. Very good.
Oh. See, something to look forward to for season 2.
That's right. Oh, so speaking season 2.
Oh.
So speaking of things to look forward to,
yep.
We have a special guest for the next show.
Oh, tell them all about it, sister.
Okay, so we're only going to be featuring one book, but oh, what a book it will be. We will be having, and this is locked on, right?
Yeah.
All right, so we will be joined by the one, the only, Beth Wild.
Mm-hmm.
And we will be talking about her latest book, Women Gone Wild.
Yep.
And I plan on having a good portion of the book read to me by my lovely wife. So I'll probably be tired over the next 2 weeks. So don't expect to see me around online a lot.
Maybe we can talk to Beth about her wardrobe malfunction at the GCLS Awards too.
Oh, I plan on having you bring up a lot of stuff. I'm going to be tired, so I think I'm just going to, relax and have a few drinks and listen to you two chat and just reminisce fondly about the stories.
Oh, she's the bomb. We had a lot of fun at GCLS. We had a lot of fun.
Excellent. So we'll hear all about that.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you want to follow along, be sure and pick up the book Women Gone Wild. And if you have any comments that you'd like to leave, either for Beth or for Andy or me, go ahead and give us a call, 414-367-8421, and leave your message or question or comment or whatever you want to do. And I think we're done. Are we done?
We're done.
Excellent. We don't have we'll pick a drink, right? Are we going to let Beth pick a drink?
I'll get in touch with her to see if she has a preference.
That could be dangerous.
It could be, because I
enjoy that.
I introduced her to Sex with Jennifer, and that's one of her very favorite drinks, as far as I know.
Well, I'm never opposed to Sex with Jennifer, so, if we have to have Sex with Jennifer again. Jennifer's a dirty slut.
She is. I love Jennifer.
We've all loved Jennifer at some point.
She's like a bicycle. She's the town bicycle. Everybody's had a ride. I
have to use a dental dam when drinking Jennifer.
Or as Mooney would say, she's the doorknob. Everybody's had a turn.
I'm using a straw tonight.
Are you?
That's my version of the condom.
Ah, good idea. I'm actually having a straw with mine too. Isn't that weird?
Wow, I took the final straw, and the straw color almost matches well, the tiny remnants of my second drink.
Yeah, I'm pretty much doing my third or fourth. I don't know. I lost count.
I think this is your fourth.
I don't know. I've lost count. Now's a good time to start calling everybody. Hey, you want to do a Google Plus yet? Oh, no, I got company.
Oh, you do have company.
That's right.
And that was awful nice of her to hang out and just kind of wait while we do what we're going to do.
Yeah, well, she didn't have a choice.
I guess that's true.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the sacrifices we make for our show.
It's true. It's true. And 1 year full of sacrifices, but it has been a fabulous year. And I just am amazed sometimes when I think about how far we've come from that inaugural episode. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
When we really... we went from this tentative or a little bit nervous, but excited, and just couldn't find our formula at that point to where we are today. And I'm just constantly amazed by how fun, fabulous, and how the show continues to develop.
Yeah.
And the folks that have been interested. That are coming aboard and have heard about us and seeking us out, and our listeners that hang with us, that support us, and are there to prop us up when we need it, and that have been really telling their friends. I mean, we do have more than 5 listeners, really, but it's kind of fun to say we only have 5. But, we've got a really, really loyal, strong listening base, and we thank you every time we do this show. And it's because of you guys that we continue to do this show, because as much as Rev and I enjoy each other, trust me, it's because we know you're out there and that you've given us positive feedback and that you give us strength to continue to do this. So we really appreciate you.
Absolutely, and I just want to rattle off just a few names, and I know that we're going to miss some folks, but there've been a handful of people that have been just really, really supportive of us and helped us along. Contrary to popular belief, I can be very difficult to deal with.
She's challenging at times.
I can be challenging at times, and I just want to thank Pixie and Charlie and Gloria and Megan, and a big thank you to Colette and Liz McMullen, and I don't know. I know that there's other people that have been really, really supportive.
Yeah, Brenda and Shane, who have they went out of their way at GCLS to help us market our show.
Yeah.
So I got to give big props to them. They've been super supportive.
Brenda and Laura Zielinski, huge supporters as far as spreading the word for us and helping us out.
Yep.
Jay has really done a great job of getting people the word about our show and being supportive. All of the people that have been guests, all of the authors that have been guests on the show, mm-hmm. or who have done bar rags. Mm-hmm. Our goal has always been, and will always continue to be, to help readers like us get more information on the great work that's out there. Yep. And there are a bunch of authors that have taken advantage of that,
but in a good way.
Oh no, absolutely. Taking advantage of the opportunity that we're trying to provide by recording readings. Winter Pennington has been a great supporter of the show. Mary Shannon. Yep. Rebecca Buck. Mm-hmm. I know that I'm missing people, but I blame it on Jennifer.
Yeah, so. Yeah. And you're right. Going back to, even though we've not necessarily named them all that have been on the show, but every one of the authors that have come on have not only expressed that they've enjoyed coming on the show, but have also alerted their readership or their fan base that, we're out here, what we just did, and the interviews, and, come listen to us. So we've got nothing but support from everybody. It's just been fabulous. It's been a great ride. It's been a lot of fun so far.
Yeah, I'm purposely not mentioning Robin Summers because of that whole Chicago thing. But
or Nan Hawthorne with a pilgrim bit. She still loves that. You know? And poor Linda Christ, when she was having that moment when we were talking about the 7-foot dildo and she didn't, you know, she was totally baffled and like shocked when she realized what we were talking about. And she's like, you heard crickets. You're like, oh, what the fuck? You know, it's like, what are you, a 7-foot dildo? What the fuck? So,
oh my God, Andy, I just got a great flash. You know, I'm all about the ideas, right?
Yeah, I know. Thank God that you do usually do them.
Okay, here's my latest idea.
Look out.
Okay, so now this is gonna require some help from Colette Moody and Roman Slayer.
And Roman Slayer too?
And Roman Slayer
well, you know
too.
Roman Slayer is working on something for us. You know that, right?
I want her to modify it a little bit.
Really? Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I want the pinup girl.
Yeah.
Reclining.
That's what she's doing already.
Yeah. I know, but I need an addition.
Dildo?
I need her to be holding a 7-foot dildo. With a Hitler mustache.
Oh, no! No, that's not right.
And then I need her to have the dark glasses and say, I have an infection. That's... Okay, maybe leave off the glasses and the infection, but I want the pinup girl holding a 7-foot dildo.
That is not going to be good on our business cards. What are you thinking?
All right, well, we'll have to work that in some other way.
All right, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. So,
right, well,
yeah.
All right. Well, I guess that's all we really need.
I guess that's all we really
I just
need.
love that picture that Charlie did for us.
You know, that is really amazing. I mean, seriously, I almost had tears. I thought that was like one of the most awesomest things ever. And the fact that she has helped us so much with our new designs for our cocktail hour swag. And Charlie is not getting a damn dime for any of this work that she's done for us. And she's just done it purely because, you know, she loves our show.
Yeah, she rocks. Absolutely rocks.
She rocks. She's the bomb. And we had her offline, off cocktail hour. Rev and I talked to Charlie. We did it once where we had a nice little Skype conversation. And
she listened in on the Tiopa Kilo Coda show.
Yeah, no. I mean the one. Maybe it was that same day where after the show was over, we actually talked to her fairly extensively, and it was interesting. Getting a European take on things. So it was really quite fun. It was a good conversation.
She's a sweetie, and I sent an email to Andy, or I thought I was sending an email to Andy saying, hey, you know what, we should really send her something from the Cafe Press store. But I actually sent it directly to Charlie. And
oh, okay. Speaking of Andy Marquette's another supporter who has really helped us get the word out, and gotta love that.
Yeah,
she's been really
and the zombies.
Yeah, she's been doing a lot of PR work for us. So yay, Andy Marquette, go girl!
I hope that Andy Marquette writes a zombie bearded clam story for the challenge.
Oh, wouldn't that be awesome?
That would be awesome.
Did you
call her and tell her?
Text her and tell her.
Whatever, dude. Yes.
Yeah, whatever, dude. It's too funny because anyway. Have you read the pirate story thing that she wrote for the Skull and Bones yet?
No.
Oh my God, listeners, listen. If you haven't gotten Skull and Bones yet, you got to get it. It's nothing but a compilation or an anthology of pirate stories, and Andy Marquette did one, and it was so effing awesome.
I still think we should just I think we should do that book this year and have her come on.
We
talked about this. I want to do that. Let's do that.
All right, fine. As you can tell, Rev takes the lead mostly. I kind of sit back and I'm like, oh yeah, that looks good, or oh, no, I don't like that, or whatever. But Rev does what Rev's she's the go-to girl in our cocktail hour.
I'm the producer, and you're the one that goes and actually talks to people. I don't like to talk to people.
I'm the marketing publicist girl, but I'm not doing all that great job at it. But hey.
But I will surely call you at 8:00 in the morning and go, oh my God, I just had a great idea.
She does. She absolutely does. It's a lot of fun.
All right, listeners, we are way over schedule on this one, but it's our anniversary and we're drunk and we just don't give a shit. So there you go.
Isn't it true?
All right. Well, thank you all so much for the last year. Yep. It's been so much fun, and thanks. That's all I can say. So next time we are here on the, let's see, today. What is the next one? Today is the 3rd.
Yeah.
So the 17th.
Right.
September 17th, we will be recording with the one, the only Beth
Wild. Yay!
Be sure and record your questions and comments before the 17th so that we can get them to her, and I'm sure that she'd be happy to answer any questions you have.
Yep.
So there you go.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you very much, Rev, for the last year, and I'm looking forward to the next year.
Thank you, buddy. It's been great.
Yep.
It's been absolutely a pleasure.
Yep. Oh, I love this mutual love. I love it.
All right. Bye.
All right, bye.